10. Connecting KingView to a database. The KingView SQL access function is designed to transfer data between KingView and other extra databases. We use the KingView's SQL access manager to create relationships between the fields of the database and the KingView variables, including the table template and the bind list. Create an access database called MyDB and place it on the desktop. Then create an ODBC data source. Go to Administrative Tools, click on Data Source, then give your data source a name and select where you'd like it to be connected to. Connect it to the MyDB database and then click OK. Then open Touch Explorer and select Table Template. Click New. Then define the fields. To add items, select Add Item and then fill in the details again and select Add again. Click Add and once more. Select Add and it's now complete. Click OK to finish the table template. We then have to create a bind list, so from the SQL Access Manager, select Bind List, select New. Fill in the details as before. The bind list defines the relationship between the fields of the Access Database table and the KingView variables. Then we must connect to the database, so define a memory integer variable in the tag name dictionary. Once you've created the tag, click OK and then create a new picture. Enter a title and then add a button. Then create the link for the button. Insert the following syntax. Once you have checked the syntax, click OK. Now create another button within the picture and call it Create Database Table. Click OK and then double click within the button to set the link. Check the syntax and then click OK. This syntax only needs to be executed once. If the table template is altered, the user needs to first delete the table in the database and then the table can be recreated. To insert a record, add another button to the picture. Double click to add link. Check the syntax and click OK. Querying a record. If the user wants to display data from the database in KingView, the user needs to create a bind list. The field names in the bind list must correspond to the field names in the database table. The type of variables connected must also correspond with the field type of the database. The first step is to define 3 memory variables in the data dictionary. Select OK, create another one. Click OK and create the third one. Then create a new picture. Add a title. Then insert 3 text boxes into the picture. Then connect them to the variables. Then create another bind list in Touch Explorer. Once you've created the bind list, click OK. Go back to the development scene and insert a button. Insert the following syntax. The function of this syntax is to return the first record of the table in King Table in the form of the bind list, bind2. Check the syntax and then click OK. Save all pictures and then switch to View. As right now you don't see anything, so switch back to Database Operation, connect the database, insert a record, and switch back. The data is now shown as you'd wished. You can then add pictures to help move backwards and forwards, for example. And then add 4 buttons into the picture to help navigate the data as shown. Once you've set the names for all the buttons, you then have to connect them to the variables. For the first button, enter the following syntax. Once you've entered the syntax and checked, click OK. For the next button, enter the following syntax. Check the syntax and click OK. Once again, check the syntax and click OK. Check the syntax and click OK. Save all pictures. You can also create a button to disconnect from the database. Check the syntax and click OK. Save all pictures and switch to View. You can then see by clicking Previous you get the last one, Last, and you can also disconnect from the database by clicking this button. You can also query in the database using the KVA DODB grid class. It's a control offered by KingView. To do this, click Insert General Controls, click on the KVA DODB grid class and draw it into the picture. Double click to open up the animation links property. Set the control name and click OK. Then right click and select Control Properties. Fill the control properties in as follows. Select Browse, Connection, Mine, and then OK. Then Table, King Table, and Add All. Then click OK. Enlarge the table. You're then able to view and query data as needed in the running scene.